Alright gamers, today we're going to look at New York Zoo. Let's check it out. Setup for this game is extremely simple. What you're going to do is get a player board with the number of players over there in the bottom left-hand corner. You're going to get starting animals according to your left and right sections on your player board. You have the elephant that starts here at the orange marker, and then according to these little labels here, you're going to shuffle up all these tiles into light green, green, and dark green. And it'll tell you certain places have the dark green, certain places have the light green. You'll stack it from light green to middle green. This has two middle greens. This one has two middles and a dark, you know. And you kind of stack them according to what they are, shuffling them in piles of three at the top there. There are other animals you can be in the game here, or start with, or get in the game. And then, of course, there are all these little fairground tiles that you'll get later on. Now, how the game goes is fairly simple. In a in a four-player game, you move 1 to 4 spaces. It's different if you have different players, but your player board will tell you that. So I can move this elephant 1 to 4 spaces with these little orange spaces on the board. They don't count. So, for instance, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be it. That'd be as far as I could go. And what you're doing is you're either getting animals or tiles. When you get a tile like this, you got to take the top tile, put it anywhere on the board. Now, tiles don't have to match up to each other. They can't overlap, and of course, they can't move outside the board. But you could even put them here. They don't have to touch if you want them to. But once they're there, they're there. The other rule about tiles is once you place one, you must put an animal on it. Either one from your storage here or one from another enclosure. Let's say I had this enclosure over here, and it had these two guys here, okay? And I had just planted this one here. Now I have a choice. I can put one from my area here, or one from this area here. Now I can't ever take an animal and put him in another enclosure that if it would leave this enclosure blank. You at least need to have two there. So either or. I could put that one there, or this one there, whatever I want to do. But you must have the same animal in that enclosure. So now if I put flamingos, I cannot put anything but flamingos in these other spaces. Like these little, I don't know, meerkats, I don't know what they are. I can only put meerkats in this little area too. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. The other thing that can happen is when you're placing on here, you can get these animals. So I can get 2 of these. I can place them in the enclosures if I have any available. So for example, maybe I had this here, and this already had like a little fox there. And I got here, I could get one of each and go, oh, I'll take him there. And since there's no place for him, I'll put him here. If there was a place for penguins, I could put him there if there's room. Another thing, what if I didn't want either or one of those? You know, on my next turn, I came around here somehow, and I didn't want either one of those. I wanted the flamingo. Well, instead of getting those two, you can get a flamingo if you wanted to. Or maybe, you know, whatever you wanted. So I dig into the bag, I get a flamingo instead, and I can place them right there. You can place any animals in enclosures if you have the room for them. If not, you just put them in your holding area. All right, so you're getting tiles, you're grabbing animals, and also you're mating them. So if anyone, whenever you cross any of the spaces, remember these don't count as spaces here, but whenever you cross over them, any player, not just you, but any player who has 2 of that animal in that enclosure, they will breed another one. Now you can do this up to 2 times, meaning if I had another tile, let's say right here, and it had 2 more of these little meerkats, and I just got them everywhere, man. And then someone crossed over this in the game, everyone who has these little meerkats will spawn another one from the board. So I can put up to 2 though. Up to 2 is all you can have. So 1, 2. If I had a third little area with these guys, I could not spawn a third one. So the maximum is 2 there. So what you're trying to do is you're eventually trying to fill up these spaces. So let's say later on I was able to fill up that space. Now, what I would do is I would remove all these people from the tiles, put them back in the supply, and then pick any one of these little brown tiles I want. I could use them to fill in the gaps of other places I wasn't able to fill in, or just maybe buy a big area there and cover up more of my areas. Whatever I want to do. That's every time you clear one of these spaces. Even if you clear multiple spaces on one turn. So if that would have, now even though I had, let's say I had 2 here, could I have spawned 2 in this same area? No, it's 1 per area, and it's only 2 of the same type per spawning. Okay, and so that happens for all players. So if it happened, let's say I trigger that and I get this, I would get first dibs at this, and then the player next to go, if they fulfilled an enclosure with one of these, they would pick one, and so on and so forth. But the goal is to be the first one to complete every square on your player board, and that person is the winner. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, wow, I've been looking for a zoo game for quite some time. I've seen some big ones out there that have a lot of rules, look very complicated, not interested. I wanted something quick, simple, and easy like this game. Uwe Rosenberg? What? He does an easy game? I don't have many Uwe games. In fact, this is the second one now to re-enter the collection now. I only have 2 of his games. This one's great. It's very light, very easy. You're grabbing an animal, you're grabbing animals, you're grabbing enclosures. The type of enclosures you get, there's a lot of strategy there. You know, you may be skipping over a few going, no, I don't want that one, I want this one. Or, ooh, let me get these animals right now. Or, no, I don't want 2 of these, I want 1 of these. Well, I can get this one right here and fill this one in. And you're trying to, the best place animals in different enclosures. Like I said, the smaller tiles, you may not want them. They don't cover the most ground. But what we found out, you can fill them up really fast to get those bonus tiles, which you really need. My nephew and I played a game. The last game we played on this one. It was very close. It's been very close every game I've played so far. But we were down to, he had one more move to make. But I made a move. I had several that were almost full. And I wasn't filling them up on purpose. I was like getting them almost full. All my enclosures almost full. And he only had like 2 more bonus tiles to fill up. 2 more tiles to fill up, he would have won. And then suddenly I started just hitting animals one after the other and triggering all of these. I mean, every turn I was triggering, getting 2 bonus tiles every turn, and then ended up winning the game at the end. Whoa. I think a little bit thinky, not too bad, but very light and a lot of strategy here. Love this game. And it's a cheap one to get too. So, yeah, well worth my time. Welcome to the collection, New York Zoo. Alright, gamers, that's it for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!